Last time on Mims and Maim. Everything about this scene is so weird.
And now, the conclusion.
If you give extra kisses, you get bigger hugs. That's what Santa's wife's always saying. Well, that's how we do it at the North Pole.
Well, that's not how we do it here! In a free enterprise system!
Hey, girl!
What's up? What's up, Mims? You gonna make it, honey? I know it's been a day. You gonna make it? You gonna make it okay?
Part 3 of this 3-part excursion into the Santa Claus movie. Maim and I have now been sitting here for 1 hour, 22 minutes, and it's now 1 hour, 23 minutes on the dot. Dear listeners, I hope you don't think I don't know how to say words like dude. I hope you know that I do know it's pronounced dude. So, this episode's going to be quite interesting because my mind is gone.
Your mind is starting to go. It's starting to wander.
In the last episode, Santa's toys are breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Dudley Moore's put some cocaine in some lollipops that are puce colored.
Correct.
Joe and Corny were being beaten up or beating kids up, defending Santa.
They're turning into some real terrors.
And do you have anything to add to the synopsis?
Mrs. Claus has instituted some new rules for the sex cult.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
What's the rule again?
Oh, the rule is if you give extra kisses, you get extra hugs.
So there you go. So that's the new sex cult rules. And I believe that's it. I think that's where we caught everybody up. There was a very long montage in the very first episode. Basically the entire first part of the movie is just one long montage.
One long montage.
So now we actually get to the actual movie. So the real part of the movie is about 45 minutes long.
Oh, no, it's not even. This is the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this all. So, dear listeners, we have. Oh my God, we've got that much more left. Well, listeners,
a lot happens in the last part of the movie.
But
so
hopefully,
if you notice that the episodes aren't technically balanced, it's because the first part was ridiculously long. The second part was kind of weird in the middle. And now when we get to the conclusion, it's a lot more material just condensed into a very short time frame.
Dear listeners, let's also, before we get too far into this, remind you that we do have a Patreon. If you would like to throw us some bones it's either at Baking Sugar or at You Slay Me.
Send us a Christmas cracker. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a link directly to the PayPal if you just want to throw us some money straight away at us.
Thank you to our sponsor, or one sponsor.
Yes, thank you.
Geek Tomb. Thank you, Geek Tomb.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Visit Geek Tomb on Instagram at Geek Tomb. Also on the TikTok, where they are a semi-professional whistler.
Yes. Speaking of semi-professional whistlers, do you know what I watched last night? After everything, before we went to bed, we watched the Disney classic, Robin Hood.
Oh no! Oh, that's one of my favorites.
I know it's one of everybody's favorites, and it has actually. Mr. Mims pointed out, it's one of the few movies that you have Southern accents and British accents, and it works. It just all, because there's no American accent, it just works. It all works so well.
Are you saying that specifically to contrast it with what we just had to watch?
So, Santa goes out for delivery.
Because it does not work here. But,
and now we're at BZ Toys.
Yeah.
And we find out Patch has a car. He's in the modern era. He has an automobile.
I wrote down on here, I said, is Patch a villain now? Because
Kinda.
it's giving villain vibes, right?
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. Oh, well. So Patch is off.
Yes.
We learned the car can fly. Woo, woo, woo. So Santa goes to the first house to deliver his toys,
Mm-hmm.
and he sees the sucker under the tree.
That's right. The little pew sucker.
So I would like to interject right here.
Sure.
People actually, are they okay with this shit just showing up in their houses every year?
So this is the part of the okay. So this is the part I had that question myself during the whole during the broken toy montage.
Yeah.
Because in my brain I started thinking to myself like, so wait, are we to assume that Santa is real?
Mhm.
That Santa is delivering toys to boys and girls every year, and the Santa
Yes.
is going into everyone's house. All of these things that we, as people who don't believe in Santa, are like, wait a minute, this brings up so many questions about society and all of these things. But I guess, I mean, the answer is, I mean, technically yes. I guess people were okay with it.
So we find out that Joe remembered about meeting up with Santa, and Santa picks him up from the same roof as earlier.
All right, can we do one more sidebar? One more sidebar. So
It's your time.
So a few things that are really very funny to me in this section, right? Number one.
Number one. Numero A.
This implies that Patch has now been living in New York for over a year.
Yeah.
This implies that Joe has still been homeless for yet another year. And this also implies that somehow Joe and Cornelia have aged a year, but don't have any sort of, like, there's nothing about them that has changed at all.
Well, Cornelia's hair got worse. That's
age do that,
not a
though?
read, just the truth.
Does age do that?
Anyway.
Oh,
So
man.
Santa picks him up. Joe was afraid Santa would forget about him.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe remembers all the reindeer name. Santa gives Joe the horrible wooden elf he made that looks like
So
Dudley Moore.
gross.
How much better would the wooden elf have been had it been like Arthur in a bathtub?
Oh, with Eliza Minnelli as like a little side, like,
Yes.
oh.
We find out that Corny and Joe are still friends.
Yay, that's so great. I really would have been great if Corny had helped him get off the streets.
I know, right? So now we're back at Corny's, and the nanny eats her sucker, and we find out what the sucker does.
Ooh, it makes you fly.
It makes you float, not fly. Float.
Well, it makes the other one kind of, yeah. I feel like Mary Poppins.
And so people all around the world are floating.
Yes.
Or you might even say, if you're Dua Lipa, they're levitating.
Levitating. Oh my god. It's really funny though how some people. We're doing this now. As a drag queen, I was hoping you would have actually known the words to that.
Oh, not that part. I know the refrain. But I can mouth my way through it.
Now, sometimes the ladies will put that song in at karaoke, and it's the thing about modern pop music. I've noticed this about the younger people that do these songs at karaoke, and they're like their early 20s.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the choruses. Nobody knows any of the rest of the song.
Right.
None of it.
Like, I make it Lord, and I can probably handle it because that's a lot slower, right? Like,
Oh man, I would love to see you performing Lord dressed as the rabbi from Fiddler on the Roof from back in the day.
Oh my God, do green light do at like that? Yes. Yes.
That would have
Oh.
been amazing. That would have
Oh.
been so amazing.
Well, dear listeners, Flex in Raleigh has pushed their Trailer Park Drag Night earlier. It's now at
Wha-
9 p.m. instead of 11:30
Oh
p.m.
my
on
gosh, that would
Thursdays.
have been life changing for me. That would have been so amazing for me.
Like I heard that, I was like, my God, my
Could you
God.
imagine me being able to drive home at like midnight versus like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the
Uh-huh.
morning?
Dear listeners, he used to come see me, and he lived in this little burg known as Whitsitt, North Carolina,
Whitsitt, North Carolina.
which is what, an hour away from
It wasn't
Raleigh?
quite. No, it wasn't quite an hour. It was maybe like it was. I mean, it was close to an hour. It was like maybe
Yeah,
like 50 minutes or
yeah,
so. Yeah,
yeah. But like,
that's how much I love this bitch.
well,
Just
also,
FYI,
also, she worked in Durham, so it wasn't that
it wasn't that far to go. It was a long way to drive back at
home.
3
Yes,
o'clock in the morning
yes, 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 yes.
after 5 hours of us being ridiculous.
Because of course, after doing drag, you have to go eat at IHOP because
That's
you
right.
have to. How much better would it have been to eat at IHOP at like 10:30?
Right?
I mean,
When
my
there was less
God.
when there's less chance for violence.
Exactly.
Because it was always in the air. It was always hanging around.
Can you feel the violence tonight? Uh, so there's a press conference,
Yes, yes,
and
yes, yes.
BZ makes Patches his exclusive.
Exclusive.
And we find out after the meeting, well, BZ starts getting hammered about the Senate hearing, which apparently is still not done. It's been a year, but
A year later.
God, glad to know that Congress still moved really slow back then too.
You would think they'd move faster with the cocaine.
Mm. I can't even. Dear listeners, I need a moment. We've just taken so many moments. Let me just have one more, please. All
So
right.
let's take this moment. Let's just take this while you're having your moment. I just want to point out when they do the the next scene and BZ has his feet up on the thing. I am obsessed with his spats. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
they were amazing.
I have not seen those in years.
Nobody wears spats now.
So
I think you can still buy them, but nobody wears them.
Patches wants to go home. BZ wants him to stay. He's like, but I want to go home. And BZ's like, just one more favor. Just one more favor for the children.
Well, if it's for the children.
What would happen if you made threw even more cocaine in these candies? Would it make it stronger? Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would. It would totally make it stronger.
They would fly. It's like, oh my God.
That's
Well,
what we need, flying children.
He's like, I can make more suckers. No, we gotta make something else. Well, I can make candy canes. Done. And we're gonna release them on March 25th, Christmas 2.
Never mind.
Oh, God.
That was the worst. For me, that was the single worst part of the entire moment there. I was like, really, guys?
Okay, now we're back in the North Pole.
Again.
Santa's thinking maybe Christmas isn't that good of an idea anymore.
Yes.
Because no one cares about giving a gift. And maybe he feels like an old fool.
Well, I mean, you are.
He's just sad because he's not invited to the sex cult anymore.
All I wrote there, I was like, Santa is super bitter right now.
He
like,
is.
So bitter.
Well, I mean, here we have Ms. Claus giving that poo nanny to everybody except for Mr. Claus. What? Dear listeners, I think I killed Maim. I think I murdered her.
I hate when you use that word because I always break. I always lose every time.
Oh God.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
So we're now at Corny's.
Back at Corny's.
And Joe shows up. We find out he can climb up a pipe because she can't let him in the front door.
No, because of course not.
And now we take a little thing at BZ's place, like at the factory, and the candy canes are glowing. They're glowing. Hot pink. Like this ain't even puce anymore. This ain't
no more
fuchsia.
puce. This is not puce.
This is like those glow in the dark armbands. The pink ones.
Yeah.
I love those.
Those are super fun.
The pink was the best. Pink and the blue are the best color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Yeah. I mean,
trans rights.
So Joe is sick, and I'm sick of this
sick.
too. But he's actually physically.
He has a 99-degree fever.
Oh no, 99. So, dear listeners, I make fun of that. If I have a 99-degree fever, I am out for the count.
Oh, I am too.
my natural temperature is 96.5.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Which feels like a wonderful radio station, doesn't it?
96.5, your hits of the 80s, 90s, and today.
The Beast.
I think it's funny that they do 80s, 90s, and today, and I'm like, isn't there like another 2 decades of music that we're not talking about?
Like, what, the 70s? No, the what do you call them? The aughts?
The
like,
aughts.
The
yeah.
80s,
I mean,
90s,
nobody
aughts, and today's.
They'd always, like, they just call them like the
2000s,
2000s. Which is
80s,
stupid.
90s, and I haven't really listened to radio in a long time. Do they still say the 80s, 90s today, or do they actually say 90s, 2000s, and today?
No, actually, it's still 80s. 80s is still more relevant than the late 90s and early 2000s.
Okay.
So, yeah, there are still 80 stations everywhere.
Where are we at with this? Oh. We're back at Courtney's. Joe is sick, and so she's sending him to the basement. She sets him up.
That's what you should do.
She sets him up in like a rubber boat. Oh, Lord, Maim nearly lost the whole shebang there. Maim, don't lose the shebang. We'll have to do it all over again.
It was just the light. It was just the light started falling over. I was like, whoa.
So
this is the universe telling us to stop.
We are at minute 1 hour and 40. Dear listeners, we have done many episodes before. We have never gone this long.
We've never done this before.
No, we have not. How many pages we got? Oh, we don't have that much more. We're getting there, dear listeners. We're getting there.
Near the end. We're near the end. I just think it's very like the light falling was just a perfect kind of like it's a perfect metaphor for this, like how insane this is.
Well, now we're back at the North Pole. The elves show Santa a new doll. It wets itself. Santa is nonplussed.
Does it fly? No, it wets. like, which once again, that's such a British humor thing, and most American children are not even gonna. We never used that expression before.
No. We would also be like, "Can I get a Nintendo?" Right? It's 1985.
At this time, I'd like to have some technology.
Or an Atari.
Or a Commodore 64,
God,
something.
I had one of those. Those things were crap.
I had the 128.
Still crap. Oh, God. So, BZ's lawyer shows up as Corny is still downstairs. Apparently, he's still living there. He's lived there for a very long time. And BZ, so Corny and Joe get up to get some orange juice. There's a little hiding scene as BZ and the lawyer go into the kitchen. And BZ's like, Santa's finished. Ha ha.
As they crack open a great can of Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Oh, God. So Joe sneezes and gets caught for eavesdropping.
No, but he pushes Corny out of the way because he's noble.
Yes. Beezy catches him and's like, put this kid on ice while I figure out what to do with him.
Because, that's what you
God
do to children.
almighty. Yeah.
That's what you do to children.
So we learn that the candy canes are dangerous.
How so?
So they have to be kept at sub-freezing temperatures or they blow up. They blew up the entire lab.
Oh, no. Well, that's a bad thing, right?
I don't know anymore. It would end the movie.
I like that they're like, dispatch. No, he was on the other side of the warehouse. Like, he didn't know about an explosion that blew up an entire wing of the warehouse. Okay.
So Cornelius sneaks out, and we found out the Beesian lawyer are going to escape to Brazil because they don't have an extradition treaty with the United States.
Which, children know that. And watching this movie, they get that reference when he says that.
Right. So we're now back at BZ Toys. We see Joe tied up in the basement of BZ Toys because they couldn't afford more sets at this point. And Corny writes a letter to Santa. Dear Santa, shit's gone wrong. Joe in trouble. Send help now.
Oh, jeez. It would be great if it was like coded language, like it's all gone South Pole, South Pole.
Santa, the crow has flown. The crow has flown.
Oh man.
The candy cans are booms. They're booms. Santa booms.
Oh god.
God. Oh, what is this on me? Oh, God. What is this? I feel like I'm being attacked by something. I hope that wasn't I don't know. It was in my hairs. Hopefully it wasn't a tick.
Have you been rolling around in the grass outside?
No, I don't roll in the deep.
I mean, wait. Are ticks even out right now?
It's been like 70 degrees for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or past week. And now it just got down to 30 tonight. So they're probably a little... Who knows? I don't know.
They're sensing their immediate doom. They're like,
Apparently,
we gotta find something to crawl on. Where's that bear?
I think it was. I'm still a cub.
Girl, you're a couple of cubs. What you talking about?
Oh God, dear listeners, if you are not a homosexual, I have to explain something to you.
Which is most of you, probably.
Yeah,
we've arrived.
So there are different communities. Blah 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 blah. Big hairy men are called bears, especially when they're older. But for some reason, the like sexy sound they make is not grr, it's woof. Because bears. Anyway, let's get back to this. Where are we at here? Okay. So Santa gets the letter through magic and mystery. Yes. It's part of our history, just like the recipe.
No, please
for gummy
don't.
berry
Please
sauce.
No. You don't understand how hard it is for me to not have that song playing in my head all the time because of my dog's name. I'm always singing the gummy bear song with the word. I call him Roomy Bear.
Yeah,
I sing that song all the time.
So did you see my message that all of the Looney Tunes are on HBO Max?
Yes,
all of them.
No, I know.
Black and white.
Yeah,
all of them.
Yeah,
even racist ones.
Well, I mean, technically, that's I personally am very. Oh, sorry, I'm. Every so often, I will check my phone for a second, and I will regret that because I just saw somebody's. I just saw an unfortunate just an unfortunate tattoo. I was just like, oh boy.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I actually have you ever? I don't know if you ever watched this or not. I personally thought it was genius but I have a very unusual sense of humor. The Looney Tune show that they did a few years ago, where it was like a situational comedy
I
starring
watched
them.
1 or 2 episodes of it. And I thought it was very funny.
Oh man, they're all on there too. I've already rewatched them like twice. I
Yeah.
think that's one of the funniest modern takes on them that they've ever done.
So,
Lord.
so
Okay. All right, let's do this.
Santa has to leave right away.
Yes,
But
he's gotta
Comet
go.
and Cupid are sick.
They got the flu. They got the flu,
the
little reindeer flu.
They got the reindeer flu. So these fucking elves can keep people alive and reindeer alive forever, but they can't prevent them from getting the fucking flu.
Well, that just goes to show everybody needs to go get vaccinated.
It's true. It's true.
Go get your flu shot, everybody. Go get your flu shot. Even the magic of elves can't keep you from the flu.
So, we're back at BC Toys. Patch finds Joe.
Yes.
And Joe shows, like, they fight for a little bit, and the wooden sculpture of Dudley Moore falls out, and Patch is like, "Oh, it's me. Isn't this sweet?" Not creepy, sweet. Not real weird, sweet.
Well, I mean, there is a fine line between all of those things you just said.
There's a fine, fine line between a lover and a friend.
You're going to cause a Mary Hart situation right now. Keep that up. Somebody's gonna have an attack.
God. We're now at Corny's. Santa's there. She's like, "Oh no, Joe!" And Santa's
like, "Where's he at, girl? I'll go get him."
Well, he's at BZ's, and no time for that. Get my sleigh. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
oh man,
we find out that she tells Santa that the canes are explosive, and that she called the police on BZ.
But that they didn't really pay attention to her.
Right.
Even though we find out later that they actually, the police actually,
yes.
We're
at BZ's, and Arthur takes to flight 2 in his car, packs up all the candy canes to bring them back to Santa. It takes to flight.
Yep, and then that's where I wrote, "Why is this movie turning into Star Wars?" Because this chase montage was literally like something from that.
So the police surround BZ's, and BZ eats a bunch of candy canes and takes to flight.
Not like kind of takes a flight, y'all. Like a rocket ship takes to flight.
Just jumps out that window and goes. Well, now Santa's chasing Patch. Oh no, the puce canes are smoking.
We've got to put that on a t-shirt.
Let me make a note of that one right there.
The puce canes are smoking.
Oh no, the puce canes are smoking. Got it. Oh no, there's danger. The super duper looper is the only way to save them.
Which is, physics-wise, I was like, couldn't they have just like flown underneath them?
I have a question after I read the next lines. The car explodes, and the super duper looper goes up underneath them and catches them in.
Right.
Now, my question is, right here, why didn't Dudley Moore just teleport them? Sorry for that.
I already forgot he had that.
He does.
Maybe.
Maybe what?
Maybe it's because he didn't have the. Maybe it's because he didn't have the powder with him anymore.
He went all the way from
Washington D.C. to New York.
No, he wasn't Washington D.C., but he went from Midtown to like the Bronx. So he can go about 30 miles. All he has to do is grab a hold, snap, and appear 3 feet away in a sleigh. Right? It's not like 30 miles. Anyway.
He can't focus right now. He's not focused. He's in a crisis. You're
God, aren't
expecting
we
way too
all-
much of this.
Aren't
This
we
poor-
all in a crisis
This
right now?
poor elf, you were expecting way too much of him to have a steady, calm head in the middle of such a terrifying event.
Well, we're back at the North Pole.
This is where it gets extra awkward.
Dudley Moore is back. They all are happy
Mhm.
to have him. Joe has decided to join the sex cult.
Yeah.
And Corny is going to join the sex cult.
Yeah, because Corny's caretaker was BZ.
Yeah. So then there's a dance scene. BZ is floating off into space.
And I wrote, "Why isn't he dead?"
Well, he's got that magic puce juice in him.
But
And
but that doesn't do anything for your lungs. He's floating in the stratosphere.
And then Sheena Easton sings us out.
I said, this ending song with her screaming, "It's Christmas." What in the world? It's Christmas!
Oh, well, do 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 do.
Oh, this was a ride.
Oh, God.
This was a ride.
Oh, a
We
ride.
talked almost the exact same length of this movie.
We did. It's been a ride in a car that has some candy canes are going to blow up in it, is what it's been.
Why didn't he just dump the candy canes? Like, why didn't he just do
He
that?
didn't know that was happening. Like, I understand that. Although we didn't see the smoke in his rearview mirror because it didn't have a rearview mirror because it wasn't a safe car. It wasn't able to fly or be on the road. What was he doing in that thing?
It was not prepared for driving.
It was not prepared for driving.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Maim. What'd you think of this movie? The short version.
I had so many thoughts, but still after all of that, my biggest takeaway was Puce. Like, still 30 plus years later, it's still well, no, I take that back. I, as an adult now, I appreciate John Lithgow's performance so much more. I did not understand when I was a kid. I thought he was just a cartoon character almost. And now I'm like, he is a cartoon character, but because he is a grown-ass man, that was amazing because he went beyond the top. Like, over the top's not even giving it enough. He went sky high above the top.
Yeah, it was like Richie Rich in adult form.
Yep.
I apparently didn't like
You
this movie as a kid.
You picked this movie.
I know. It's because I thought I liked it better, but I was confusing it with another movie. I think it's Prancer's the one I liked better as a kid. Whatever.
Tune in for us next year when we do Prancer.
Or something. Oh, God. Well, dear listeners, we hope you had a pleasant holiday season. We'll be back next week after this airs with something new, something exciting, something unusual for both of our podcasts. Anyway, we hope you had a great holiday season. We wish you a happy new year. Maim, do you have anything to add to that?
May all your days be merry and bright. May your jingles bell. May your stars be wished upon. And
at first I thought you said, may all your gays be jingling bright. I'm like, what enunciation is this, Madam Radio host?
may your Christmas be a wonderful time with your family, your friends.
It's well past.
It's our Delilah. We're gonna have our Delilah moment. It's our Delilah moment. Yeah. So Delilah couldn't be here today, so we are taking over for her for this Christmas celebration. We hope that you and your family will have just the most wonderful gatherings. Make sure to hug your friends. Make sure to go and get vaccinated. Make sure that you remember the real reason for this season: consumerism.
I thought you were going to release it to a song, and I was going to like.
And now, no, literally, like if this was Delilah, right? If this was Delilah, I would be like, and say, and we have this special dedication that just came in. I'm just gonna read this real quick. This is from Marjorie. Marjorie says, Delilah. I'm not Delilah, but yeah, I'm reading for Delilah. Delilah, myself and my husband, we've been together for about 7 years, and we are in the process of adopting these beautiful twins. And I am so excited, but I am so scared because I'm just never, I never thought this was going to happen. I was always told that it was an impossible dream. But as we sit here preparing our nursery for these bundles of gifts from God above, I would love for you to just play a wonderful song that can keep us comforted through the night. So
I
here
whip
you
my
go.
hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth. And that, my dear friends, is the best part of Delilah. She would not listen to them. She would not consult. She would pick a song that she wanted to hear. Oh, Maim, tell the dear listeners where they can find you one last time before the next time.
Sure. You can find me on social media at auntie.maim. That's MAIM. On Facebook, you can find me on at I'm Your Auntie Maim, one word. You can find me if you're down in the South Florida area. I do improvised comedy at Villain Theater, which you can find them on Instagram at Villain Theater. And also, I host a weekly karaoke show called Amazing Colossal Karaoke at a little bar called Kill Your Idol on Miami Beach. So if you're ever down here to visit, just look us up on socials and you can come hang out. So what about you, Mims?
I am the Divine Miss Mims. You can find me at Divine Miss Mims on Twitter. You can find You Slay Me, our God, what is it? Murder She Wrote podcast at You Slay Me Pod. You can find Baking Sugar, our Designing Women podcast, at Baking Sugar Pod. We've now been talking for 2 hours. We just hit the 2-hour mark. Go get vaccinated, y'all. Maim.
Yeah.
For the last time, for the first time, for the next time, for this season, say goodnight, Maim.
Good night, Maim.
Bye, y'all.